you for being Emmy nominees. Very exciting. Well done. First time Emmy nominees. Phil, I'm going to start with you. I want to ask you about pre-production, which is especially crucial for a series where every episode is shot in one continuous take. How much more complicated was that compared to a shoot where you have the luxury of making cuts, and also even to like the feature, 2021's Boiling Point, where you had a movie, it was all kind of in one location. Talk to me a little bit about pre-production.
Well, we had like 6 months worth of pre-production, and it all starts with obviously an amazing script from Stephen and Jack. And so once you've got that script, and we go back and forth, because Jack has written lots of plays, so it's very similar to a play. But there'd be moments in there where we'd say to Jack and Stephen, we can't physically do that move, so we need to tweak that bit. You know what I mean? So, and the other thing about it is, you sort of, you have to find every single location very, very early on, and they have to be locked in, and we have to be able to get them. You have to be able to be in them, from day one, really. Whereas when you do a normal shoot, you'd have that location for a couple of days, you'd shoot in it, and then you'd leave. You know what I mean? So, so we had like the house for weeks and weeks, and the people who lived there, we just put them in a hotel or another house, and they just stayed in that other house for weeks, and we trashed the place. But then it's basically myself. It all starts with myself and the producers and Jack and Stephen and my DP Matt Lewis, and we would just literally, just go through the script, break the script down into beats, and then me and Matt would go to the locations, and we would just plan out the camera move for that beat. So say, for example, in episode 1, when we're in the car, beat 1 would be the drive to the house. Beat 2 would be getting out the vans, going into the house, going up the stairs. That would be beat 2, and then beat 3. So we'd break it down into beats like that. And then once we'd got all of the beats, then then the cast would come in the rehearsal process. And then we'd do 2 weeks rehearsal. So with the first week would be just me and the actors, and Jack. And then the second week would be a tech rehearsal. So in the first week, we're just running through the script, we're talking through it, and we're basically working it out, right? And just making sure it all works, and it all feels real, and it all feels natural. And then we'd get up and get it on its feet, and we'd do the beats with the actors, and we say, right, the camera's going to be here at this point. And sometimes it was flexible, other times it wasn't. Like, for example, in the car when we're driving there, the camera's on a crane, so we can't really do a lot with that. And it was a collaboration, essentially, with me and the actors, and Matt, and all the crew, actually. And so then in the second week, it would be the whole crew, so it would be the tech rehearsal week. So then you've got all the sound team coming in, and they, figure out where the booms are going to go, or where they can be. And, a lot of the crew are dressed, in episode 1, a lot of the crew are dressed as police officers. And in episode 2, a lot of them are dressed as school teachers. And so then they can be in shot, and it's not a problem. They can run around, and they can then, move the supporting artists or the extras, and they can maneuver them around, and they can be in shot. So it takes meticulous planning, but it really is a collaboration, and I think everybody has to be on the same page. And everybody's voice is valid. So if someone has an idea on a day, and it's a great idea, then we'll try it, and if it works, then we'll go for it. So yeah, it takes months of planning, and it's a real camaraderie of team effort.
Yeah, no, this